Hey everybody, we are about ready to dive into our entire series on building your own sim. So, nice Vanna White. And I'll apologize for my terrible videography. This is designed for the person who wants to build a really nice sim, doesn't want to pay for a service, and wants to do it themselves, but doesn't really know what components to buy, what not to buy. So we're going to be taking you through every component in subsequent videos. Today, though, we are going to be focusing on the fundamental components you have to buy and the optional ones you can. So, Brian, kick us off. What are the fundamental components of a sim?
Welcome to Full Throttle. I'm Brian. Let's start with the key ingredients with the foundation. First, going down here, we've got the base called the rig. It's an aluminum frame, a chassis. Everything bolts together like Legos, and then you plug and play, put all the other equipment on top of the rig. It's bomb-proof. It holds everything really stably, if that's a word, stably. And then you bolt your seat. That's an essential piece. Obviously, you do need a seat for a car.
Gotta put your hiney somewhere.
Moving forward, you need a steering wheel and a steering wheel base. The wheel base controls the force feedback into the steering wheel, and it makes the car feel realistic in the simulator. Very, very exciting stuff. Moving down to the front end here, you've got the go pedal, gas pedal mounted to the rig separately from the brake. Very firm brake pedal, just like a real race car. That's what we are going for, is pure realism. And it mounts, again, really solid to this plate. You'll also notice we've got speakers up here. Sound would be an essential ingredient. You can go cheap with low-cost speakers, or you can go high-end like we did with the 5.1 surround. And then if you can see this little white box, we didn't want to run wires through the whole house for the internet. So we use this Netgear deal, which goes through the electrical wiring in the house. And we have 1 gig internet speeds.
Yeah, high-quality internet is probably a must, right?
Really important to get good internet. Now, moving to the front, if you can see the PC, maybe you can kind of poke through here.
Mm-hmm.
High-end gaming PC, really good graphics card, key ingredient, so that you can run high refresh rates on your monitors, high resolution, no latency. You need a good PC. We'll get a whole video on that. Then you've got this other frame. This is not part of the rig. It's an independent monitor system. It's a stand, which holds 3 monitors. You can get a stand that holds just 1 monitor if you want to do just a single display. We went for 3 curved, and then we added a 4th. And this whole system is independent from the rig, so we can slide the rig in and out to create a different field of view for different driver ride heights. So those are sort of the essential pieces that go into what I would consider to be a high-end sim. For options, I'm sure you're going to ask about some options.
I was just going to do that.
Let's say you wanted to go ballistic. Down here, instead of these feet, you can mount actuators and get a full motion system, which move the sim left, right, fore and aft, and create that sensation of G-forces that you don't get in a fixed sim like this.
You get pretty good feeling in the steering wheel, though, right? You just don't have the G-forces.
You get great feeling. The better your steering wheelbase, the better the sensation you're going to get from the road feel. The better your brake and throttle, the better sensation you're going to get from the road as well. It's much more realistic. So don't skimp on those.
And you got some groovy lighting going on here.
Yeah, I've got a disco light system. It's controllable with this remote. I have it set up to play to the music of the sim. It changes colors and everything. You can mount all kinds of little doodads, like a keyboard stand, a mouse plate, cup holder, you name it. I mounted a little thing
and
here.
A bell.
I mounted a deal to hold my steering wheel like that. Quick release. And
what do you do if you happen to be a foot taller than your wife and you're sharing a sim?
If you're taller than your wife, then you build it for the tall person, and then you get a booster seat. And you put her little booster seat in here like this, and then you slide her forward, and then you tilt her up like this, and then she's close to the monitor, and it fits her perfectly. So,
great. Why do you have your shoes sitting out?
Well, this may sound ridiculous, but I'm a huge advocate of wearing driving shoes when you do a sim, because you're going to need a firm base on your foot. I don't believe in wearing socks because there's a lot of force needed to push that pedal.
Really? Wait, I didn't know that. So you're saying when we go on the track, you're not wearing socks with your driving shoes?
And then I even wear gloves because you don't want to get your hands all sweaty and ruin your wheel. Plus, this is a more realistic if you were driving, a real road car or a race car. So there's all kinds of other things you can do. You can get a wind machine. I mean, you can go bonkers with this stuff. This is like a really good $12,000 high end. Everything here is high end.
You're awfully out of breath.
I know. Why are we at altitude or something? I guess we are. 7,000 feet.
7,000 feet.
But I think when we get into other videos, we're going to talk really why did we choose these really high end curved monitors? What PC did we go with? Why do we choose this brand of wheelbase, this whole ecosystem?
Oh, that reminds me of a question. You talk about the ecosystem. Is it important to stay with one brand for all of the components, or can you mix and match?
I'm a single brand advocate because you get one piece of software when you fire this thing up to synchronize the pedals and the steering wheel. It's just easier. And when it upgrades and updates, it's one update. You can mix or match though. I know that all the manufacturers are creating pretty good APIs so that this stuff can all integrate together.
And one other component we haven't mentioned yet is you're going to need some software.
Yes. And that's why you need this really good PC, because if you run iRacing, you're going to need to not only configure it for these curved monitors or whatever monitor you're on, you have to configure the field of view, and you have to make sure all the settings work flawlessly with your steering and your brakes, throttle. It's quite a process. We're going to walk you through that in subsequent videos because it took me weeks to figure it out, but now we've learned the hard way and we can share that with you.
Great. And speaking of quite a process, I must point out your cable management is exquisite.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear.
So if you see, he's got everything just neatly wrapped up here, and there could be all sorts of cables coming from everywhere. But
cable management will be a whole video. I spent many days routing all the cables, so you just have one big run behind the PC, but there's dozens of cables that would be visible otherwise if I hadn't run, and I have some good cable management tips that I learned also the hard way.
And let's talk quickly also about the surface that you put this on. You don't want to be probably doing it on a shag rug.
I mean, I would say that this is a concrete floor, so stability would be key. If you put it on a real thick carpet or anything that's a wobbly surface, you're gonna, or especially if you're out putting it on the second floor and you have people below you, you might upset people if they're underneath you. So we put it on the ground floor of the house on concrete, so it's just rock solid.
Awesome. I think we covered it all. So we went through the fundamental elements you're going to need, the pieces you're going to need to buy, some of the pieces you can buy that are optional. And in our subsequent videos, we'll be taking you through every component and how you should go about making a decision as to what you're going to buy. Not necessarily what we got, but Brian's going to take you through the pros and cons and everything to look for, because we've learned some things the hard way. And he's going to save you those pain points.
We hope to save you time, money, get you a better experience, and help you have more fun more quickly. So thanks for watching. Tune into our channel. Check out the playlist and our other videos of us driving real race cars on real racetracks too. Thanks a lot.
Woohoo!
Woo!